Well, good morning, everyone. I'm Chalen Jackson with Senior Marketing Specialists, and I'm honored today to have Brad Hermann with me. He's one of our agents who started out kind of in the final expense world and has had a lot of success adding Medicare to his book of business. So, Brad, I'd love for you to introduce yourself, tell everyone a little bit about yourself and your operation, and then, as I mentioned in our earlier email, I've got a few questions for you.
Sure, absolutely. Thanks for having me, Chalen. And I started out in the final expense business probably about 12 years ago, and had pretty good success over the years. And I'd say probably about 5 years ago or so, I started to entertain the idea of adding Medicare to my portfolio, and just kept on procrastinating and putting it off. And over the years, I'd have clients ask me if I could help them with their Medicare, and I had to keep saying no. So eventually I decided to take the plunge, and here I am. So it's been challenging, but at the same time rewarding.
Yeah, of course. And it sounds like it was just that, and I know a lot of agents are like this. When I was an agent myself, I was like this. I hated saying no to clients. So was that one of the big factors that made you want to bring on Medicare? Or what were the things that kind of went into that decision to say, okay, I'm ready to take the plunge and learn this whole new line of business?
Right. Yeah, it was kind of disappointing to have to say no to clients when they did ask for help with Medicare. It's actually been an eye-opener to me how many people out there don't have a personal relationship with an agent for their Medicare, and they're basically relying on someone on the other end of an 800 number. And so it's been satisfying for that. But then also, with final expense, there's only so many people in a market that are going to be willing to return a piece of mail,
Sure.
whether it's direct mail or answer the phone and be able to set up an appointment with final expense. So after a while, you realize that the market starts to get smaller and smaller if you've done final expense for 10 years. So that kind of played a role also. I started to get some of the repeat lead.
So it became a question of not just saying no to current clients, but a question of where's the new opportunity.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, and I know anytime we take on an entirely new line of business, it can be exciting and it can provide that opportunity, but I know it is fraught with challenges as well. So when you first started adding Medicare, what were the challenging parts? What was the frustration, or the parts that, man, if I had a little better guidance, or I'd do it differently if I would have known?
Sure. Yeah, just recognizing, what's available for the client, recognizing whether or not there is an enrollment period available to them, recognizing whether there's a special needs plan available for them.
Sure.
Just a lot of different scenarios that a person can run into, and that's what's been great about Senior Marketing Specialists. They've been able to answer some of those many questions when you get into certain scenarios.
Yeah, absolutely. We pride ourselves on being able to help agents with that. And I know that's something that when I talk to agents looking at adding Medicare, I really advise them to use our teams. I know I hope you feel like that's contributed to your success. I know you use our support team and some of our other teams religiously, and we really appreciate that. And do you find that was maybe one of your biggest helps in that early success, was just having someone to ask questions to, or were there other things that contributed to the success you've seen so far?
Yeah, obviously having a team to be able to rely on that can come up with an answer. When I call, and obviously if someone doesn't have the answer, they can find someone that does have an answer for them. And I can kind of see myself, even years down the road in the Medicare business, you're going to constantly run into different scenarios that you've never seen before. And I think it would be rather challenging to try to rely on, doing it by yourself or having a small team. So having that full access to a senior marketing specialist has been very helpful.
I'm glad to hear that. And I know, yourself, when I've talked to you in the past, you really haven't prospected for new Medicare clients at all. It has strictly been working with your current book of final expense clients, and then occasionally a referral from one of them. So how do you approach those existing clients about Medicare? Is it as simple as, hey, I've added this new product line? Does it still just come up organically with them asking questions? How do you start that conversation with folks?
Right. Yeah, good question. Yeah. I just follow up, whether that's in person or over the phone, just letting them know that I didn't forget about them, and obviously I need to get them my new business card, right? So
Sure.
that's it. Got to get that new business card to them, and then also letting them know that I'm now helping people with their Medicare needs, and there's never any cost or obligation for a review. And it's amazing how many people don't have the right product for their Medicare needs. So yeah, there's a need out there, and just following up with existing clients has been helpful.
Yeah, of course. And I think if you're about 2 years into this now, having added Medicare to your final expense book of business, looking back on everything you've learned, everything that you've developed in your systems and processes, what do you think the most important thing for you was to learn about Medicare? If it was maybe one thing or a small group of things that really kind of, I really get it now, or that made it a lot easier for you.
Oh, yeah, that's a good question. Gosh, I don't know if there's really any one particular thing, but
Sure.
obviously starting out, you have to remain compliant, and so if you're not compliant, then you won't be doing it very long. So remaining compliant, and then just knowing the different products, different carriers. Also trying to develop that relationship with the local brokers, and but then also being able to rely on senior marketing specialists to answer those many questions that come up throughout the day.
Absolutely. And I know there's been times where you and I have had conversations maybe once in the morning, once at lunch, and once in the afternoon, all about different issues. And I think that's the real benefit, is knowing that in Medicare you're never going to run across the same situation twice, and there's never a wrong time to ask a question. If someone's thinking about adding Medicare to their final expense practice, what advice do you have for them, or what tip or trick or suggestion do you have for them, just to make it a little easier to get on board with it?
Right. Well, I guess the first thing that comes to my mind is to tell them not to procrastinate like I did. I wish I had done this. I wish I had gotten into the business 5 years ago. But so it's easy to keep putting it off, because it is a big transition. There's a lot of knowledge that needs to be gained, but I see it getting easier. And obviously, if you have a book of business, it's rather easy to close. So it's just a matter of, if you earn their trust once before with a final expense product, then they should still trust you, at least to give them a review. And once you're with the client and do the right thing, find the right product for them, then it's rather easy sale.
So I think you brought it back to something that we talk to agents about all the time. It comes back to that trust and that knowledge, and I think that's something that we can help with a lot, and that you've seen has been incredibly valuable with your clients. And I'm so happy to hear that what we're telling agents and what we're teaching to folks is working, and really happy to see the success that you've had so far, and look forward to continuing to support you as you continue to grow and work through that existing client base, and even go beyond that. Well, Brad, thank you so much for joining me today. I think this is going to be some great insight for some of our other agents, and I really appreciate you taking the time to join us. And with that, I guess we'll sign off. And thank you so much again.
You're welcome. We'll be in touch.
Yeah, absolutely.
For more information or additional help, please reach out to Senior Marketing Specialist at 800-689-2800.